Welcome to Love Your Coaching. I'm Charlie, and today I'm going to talk about why it's important to be able to explain different styles and different approaches of mentoring. I know this is a coaching channel and it's all about coaching, but we do find that lots and lots of people also mentor. And one of the things that we find is that mentoring isn't as well understood and well explained as it could be, and particularly the idea that there's loads and loads of different approaches to mentoring. Some people have had a great experience of being mentored and that they want their next mentor to be the same as the last one. Some people have had the opposite. So, if you do have the opportunity to mentor, think about how you want to mentor and think about what your style is. And probably if you're watching this, you are a coach as well. So probably you're looking to incorporate coaching approaches into your mentoring. So what I'm doing here is I'm going to explain a little bit of, go back to a definition of mentoring, talk about the different things that we do as a mentor, and then give you a little continuum, a little nice way of being able to see different mentoring styles and approaches. How does that sound? 5 minutes of your time? Worth it? Let's see. I shared on a previous video about how to define mentoring, and I talked about these ideas of the dialogic relationship between two people, the mentor having a bit more knowledge and seniority, and talk about appropriate sharing of resources from mentor to mentee, and also a distinction about how much and how direct the advice is going to be. So that sets the starting point of what the mentor definition is, and probably starts to think about the dynamic of how mentors work with mentees. And typically, when we ask people, what do mentors do? They say this. They say that the mentor is an advisor. The mentor offers advice, offers guidance, and they're right. Mentoring is often about advice. But what else? We tease out and we say to people, what else? What else does a mentor do? And then we start to hear comments like some of these, the idea that the mentor is there to support, is there to not just give advice, but maybe share things that are not urgent, but decent, good, helpful, best practice. Definitely the person who believes in the other person, championing, encouraging them, wanting them to do well, offering and bringing that bit of challenge there so that perhaps a mentee can see things in a different way. This really important bit of support. So many people end up in job roles or in personal circumstances that they haven't been trained for, haven't been developed ready to cope with. So the idea that a mentor is a person you can go to if you're a bit stuck, they can support you, they can help you. I know it's low on the list. I think it probably should be higher. The idea that the mentor is a person who listens, just in the same way as a coach listens. They listen and they hear. They can hear what's going on and give you that supportive ear. Sometimes there needs to be a bit of confidentiality. Sometimes the mentee having someone they can go to say, I'm worried, I can't do this. I don't think I'm very good at that. I'll never be able to be as good as what's her name. It's really helpful to be that confidant, that person that our colleague, our mentee can lean on. And I think overarching all of this shows that the mentor believes in the mentee. I think it's really hard to mentor someone if you don't believe in them. And good mentors will have a spirit of, even if you can't do it now, you're going to be able to learn. So it's believing in their potential, not just believing in where they currently are. So that's a bit of a longer list, isn't it, than just a mentor is someone who offers advice. They do quite a lot more here. How does that sound? Does that appeal? Can you start seeing in some of your professional relationships, maybe where you do some of that, where you're already offering some of those approaches? I do hope so. And then the last thing I wanted to share for us to think about is, what is our mentoring style? So about 20 years ago, I worked full-time in a school, and we're a team of mentors. There are 5 of us, and we all had a very, very different style. We're a mix of genders, there were a mix of ages, and a mix of backgrounds. And some of the mentors were stricter, some of the were probably warmer and gentler, and we all fitted into our own model. And I've seen this a lot over the years. People have a different mentoring style, and it probably is congruent with our personality and how we want to work. So this is my little mentoring styles continuum. Some people at one end go to be quite directive, really quite maybe strict as well, and the guidance is quite firm. And at the other end of the scale, we have a less directive approach. So I'll flesh those out a bit because there's also, although I've put a few stopping off points on this more to less directive, you could probably develop other ones and ones that combine some of these. So I think a more directive mentoring style is probably quite managerial. It's probably quite setting homework, telling you to do stuff, saying this is the way, quite direct, being the person who brings to the mentee what they think they need. So it might be more appropriate for a less experienced person or for a mentor who's very experienced and they think that they just want to get out and share the advice and the guidance in a direct way. Going along the continuum, we might have a teaching style where the mentor decides to do lots of modeling, lots of explaining, lots of resourcing, lots of sharing ideas, lots of maybe trial and error. Perhaps within this teaching style, observing, giving feedback, that type of approach. So it is resourcing our mentee, but in a different way from the managerial style. Moving along, we're getting towards probably the way that I like to mentor in a coaching style. You know what a coaching style looks like, right? But the idea is that as you're the mentor, you might be chucking in a little bit of advice, you might be chucking in a little bit of information. But the idea is that the coaching style brings the chance to reflect. And that's really important. Brings the chance for the mentee to be able to see their own answers, their own solutions. And maybe the mentor just shoves in the odd bit, the odd tip, the odd trick, the idea. And finally, the least directive probably is the champion style. So maybe not even using a coaching style to explore, to help the mentee come up with their own answers, but just being that person, a bit like our fan, whether it's your mum or your granny or your best pal or your partner, but someone who says, I believe in you, I go for it, come on, you're great, you're fab. That's definitely a mentoring style and definitely a style that's worked. I've seen with one of my children, she's got a mentor who's very much like that, and it does great powers for her. It's really good. So I'm putting these up not as a better to worse or a worse to better type of continuum. It's different for every mentor and for every mentee. And some mentors might bob around all the different styles with different people. I think it depends on a couple of circumstances. I think it does depend on what the mentee needs at any stage. And it also does depend on how the mentor tends to work. Good and experienced mentors will adapt their style over time. I think the idea that you have the same mentor and 10 years on, they're still telling you what to do and how to do it, probably is not the most effective way. It's likely to evolve, likely to change. So as I'm talking this through, have you started picturing yourself? Have you started seeing where you are on this continuum? Can you envisage the possibility that you can use this style in a number of ways? I do hope so. And as we come to the end of this little video explaining about mentoring styles, think perhaps about how you've been mentored. What did you like? What was enjoyable? Did you want them to be quite direct and clear? Did you want them to be your champion or cheerleader? Did you want them to be your coach? It's good to notice what you liked. And in further videos, we're going to talk generally about contracting and coming up with arrangements and agreements. And this is something you can contract around with your mentees. What do they want? What are they looking for from you? How would they like you to work? I think it's a good and interesting question to ask. So I hope this has been helpful for you. As you know, we are really trying to keep coaching and mentoring distinct. We don't want to merge the two. That's really important for us, and we hope it is for you. So I hope that you use what we've shared today in any work that you're going to do as a mentor. Good luck with it. Hope it goes well. Let us know how you get on. Put some comments in the box below and enjoy. Happy mentoring.